Hi, everybody. Welcome, 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 guys. Um, I know it's really late, at least for me, to do a live, but I wanted to just talk about a little bit of the developments that have been happening with the Apalachee High School shooting and everything that's been going on. So, we're not going to be live for too long. I have been behind as far as reporting this. I've just had a lot of other stuff kind of come up, so I've had to deal with that. But I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on. And now we're finding out that the father, there's been an arrest. And I kind of want to process this a little bit with you guys, but let me know. I mean, so far we have four victims, two students, two teachers. And honestly, 14-year-old got this gun, this weapon during the holiday season, right? I'm trying to make sense of this. And this is the weapon that was used to basically injure and murder four individuals at this high school. But I'm trying to honestly process this a little bit more. Where do you guys land? It's definitely getting a little bit crazy. I feel for my kids and all the kids today. Everybody, hey, the goodest girl, welcome everybody. Complete system failure. I would say it seems like there's different parts, and I'm sure that they're going to do a thorough investigation about this. So let's work backwards, okay? Kelly S says, good. The dad should be held responsible. The FBI should have consequences, should also have consequences. Kelly, explain to me why you think the FBI should have consequences. I think it's only right that dad gets arrested as well. I was thinking, let me tell you guys something. I was thinking about this too. I said, when stuff like this happens, we hear about the child, or in this case, he's 14 years old. So yes, he's a child, right? Doing the most, right? And showing signs before all of this was going down. And, maybe there being rumors or secrets or something was going on and people were noticing something and we didn't really pick up on this, right? Like that's what had happened. Typically, that's the story that goes with this. But honestly, with the father being arrested, I think it's time, in my opinion, that parents also be held liable for the things that your kids are doing. Is that a foreign? Is that foreign? Let me know. Is that a weird thought to think? Like it's time for the parents to be held liable for the things that the kids are doing, especially in something like this. I could be wrong. Listen, Kim, I could be wrong in a lot of ways. Little Pinto, I could be wrong. Robin, I could be wrong. But I agree with the plainest Jane over here who says it's only right that the parents are arrested. I could be wrong because I do get shit wrong all the time, but I'm just giving my opinion. And I don't really know the details of everything quite yet because I'm reacting with it with you guys. Other than we have four victims, this was a senseless crime, and we have people that were injured. You know what I mean? Hey, Brooke, welcome to the membership. Shout out to you. Let me know. Tinkle Tits, what are you thinking? Let me know your thoughts, Tinkle. Let me know. I kind of want to know. I think I read the dad about the gun in for the child. Right. Around Christmas time, it was a Christmas gift. The parents applied for the weapon. So, I mean, I don't know the gun laws in Georgia. Typically, things like this, you have to apply for stuff. You have to, there's a background check, but you're applying for a firearm. You get a firearm and you give it to your kid as a gift. Now, the other side to this too, let me know what you guys think. What if it was like a hunting type of rifle or a weapon? What if these people are hunters and they go out and they hunt and they just happen to use this weapon for, like, this kid happened to use this weapon? But let me know. I blame the parents, local government, state, and this damn country. And that's, Tinkle, isn't that how we typically do it when this stuff happens? Don't buy your kids guns, right? Just not worth it. AR-15. Look at this. As information is developing, as more information is coming about this, Greg, And this is a 14-year-old. You guys, I don't trust my. If your kid can't wipe his ass, don't buy guns. I'm sorry. If your kid doesn't know how to wipe his ass, don't buy guns, because truly this is the aftermath of that. And I'm coming in this way because how do you approach a situation like this? Let me tell you guys something. I've shared this before in another video when we were covering this. Um I am very familiar with the Columbine High School shooting. I was a kid when that happened. I was in middle school when that happened, and the aftermath of that was crazy. Now, years later, my two brothers, okay, my siblings, were also in the Arapahoe High School shooting. And you cannot tell me, this is the hardest part, and I shared it with you guys when we were live. When there's a shooting and there's a lockdown happening, they make you wait. They make you wait for, hopefully your kid doesn't, isn't a victim of what has happened. They make you wait for somebody to show up, right? Like you have to sit there and wait. And we sat there. It was me, my mom, and my other sister. Like we were just waiting there and hoping that our brothers were okay when the Arapahoe High School shooting happened. We were. It was so scary. And then I had my oldest in school, so I had to pull them from school because there was a certain time frame and they were on shutdown, and that's what had happened. This is not okay. This is not okay. But it is a cycle that keeps happening year after year. Year after year, this keeps happening. Let me know. Little Pinto, I'm, my brother, I know one of them had to go to therapy for many years after the shooting, even after, they had graduated, they went to therapy and they had to address it. And it was, not to share too much other than it was one of those things that really shaped his life after going through that. At least for, one of my brothers. But I'm telling you, is when I was watching the parents run to go get their kids. Some of them were running miles to go get their kids from the meetup spot. They were just running, trying to figure this out and trying to get, to find out if their kid was okay. The wait, and even having to wait for kids to be bused and transported to where they needed to meet. That is the longest wait to figure out, like, are they okay? Is everything going to be okay? And you're sitting there and you're watching these school administrators or police or whatever it may be going up and down, and you can't really ask questions because there's still a crime scene happening. There's just way too much to this. It's really sad, but it's the reality of it. Before, I don't know about you guys, but you couldn't have cell phones in school. They'd collect your cell phone and you wouldn't get it to the end of the year. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 18, but I really wasn't worried about school shootings either. It's become way too much and way too often. And now, I got young ones that go to school, and they might be getting a cell phone, and F what the administration says, because they still got to get an education. You're damn if you do, damn if you don't. Private school is very expensive. Take them to private school. A lot of people said that in my comments on my last video. And I said, listen, I used to take my oldest to private school, but when you don't have it, that's costly. It's not free. Okay. I had a scholarship and a grant, and then I had to pull them out. So know that this right here is like, whether it's the education system, I shouldn't have to be worried about this shit. We are in 2024 and we're worried about the safety of our kids still, right? We could figure out technology. We could figure out different things. We could FaceTime. We could take people to the moon and back. We could do different things, implant chips in people's brains, but we haven't figured out how to keep our kids safe. It's just sad. It's the sad reality of what we have going on in this world. Okay, so we heard that the father was arrested, and I'm going to try to see exactly the deets of the situation. And honestly, like I said, I think, my opinion, I think that it's only fair, right? That if you had so many warning signs or that something was going on and you decided to overlook that, hey, just buy my kid a weapon. There something needs to be done. Father of Georgia high school shooting suspect arrested. So the father of the high school shooting suspect has been arrested for knowingly allowing his son to have a weapon, according to the GBI, okay, the Bureau. Colin Gray is charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. 8 counts of cruelty to children, because it should be a crime, in my opinion. You are being cruel to your child if you are just giving weapons out like that to a minor. Mhm. To kids that don't even know how to wipe their ass, and you expect them to figure out how to process shit every day. You know what I mean? Like, there's such a huge issue going on in our schools where agendas are being pushed to our children, in my opinion. Every day we have somebody telling my kid or somebody telling our children what to do, how to do it, what to pledge, what to do, things like that. And it's gotten so scary. And yet we take them back home. We have to deal with the effects of whatever might happen. If my child was bullied, which has happened in schools, if they're bullied in school, guess what? I'm the one that has to wipe the tears out of my son's eyes, right? I'm the one that has to provide the one-to-one conversation with them. I'm the one that has to sit down and say, son, no, you're not ugly. We love you. You got this. You're going to do this. I'm the one that has to figure out how to process that. The school's only there for however many hours a day, right? And if they have an issue with you or your kid, they're going to say, hey, come and pick up your child. We can't deal with them. But the shit's happening at the schools, and then they're bringing it over to the house, right? Something's off about this. We are not in line. We are not in line. You said they have loose guns. Well, the gun he brought his child isn't even a hunting legal. Let me read some of this. No one needs an AR. It's not a hunting gun, not a protection gun, unless you're being attacked by an army. BET, bet, I thought you meant BET because it's capitalized. Bet the dad wished he had taken out the bolt or locked it up, or so it was impossible to get a hold of. You said it's classic behavior. I graduated from the high school. Wow. So my cousin was at the school yesterday and it was terrifying. So that's kind of like the thing there, right? Hey, Poe. I'm kind of curious, Poe. I know you're, former law enforcement, what your thoughts are about the shooting. Hopefully you talk about it on your channel. Hey, Rabbit. Hey, Rabbit. Welcome. I think we're all sick of this shit. We really are. Weapons are supposed to be secured when not hunting. Period. That's what you're supposed to do. People are determined to be able to buy their ARs no matter what. Not enough people give an AF and are fine with what is happening, because we're not doing enough to change a lot of things, right? Every year, okay, our thoughts and prayers, the presidents, the politicians, the yada yada, these people, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the Aurora or the Apalachee or the Sandy Hook or the how many other schools? Our thoughts and prayers are ... Put the school name in there. That, my friends, has been the signature of everything. Our thoughts and prayers are ... Our thoughts and prayers are ... with so and so, right? How about 2 months prior to dad purchasing the weapon, the FBI had questioned the son in relation to a school shooting plot, and dad still purchased the weapon. Make that make sense. What do you do? But let's keep looking away. Let's just pretend, you guys. I'm sure that there's a mental health component to this, right? But there's so much more to this than just mental health. Like, when does the buck stop? Because we go from, well, it's mental health. Well, it's this. Well, it's that. It's never just, hey, man, like, does it make sense that he bought him a weapon? Like, what is going on here? This shit don't make sense whatsoever. Nothing makes sense. But you know what? That's okay. We're just going to talk about it. We're just here to process this. That's what we do here, right? Gray told investigators he purchased the gun used in the killings of 2 teachers and 2 students as a holiday present for his son in December of 2023. He purchased it. According to 2 law enforcement sources, his 14-year-old son told investigators, "I did it," while being questioned. The county sheriff's office told CNN. Now, during a search of the suspect's home, authorities also found documents they believe were written by the teen and reference past school shootings. A law enforcement source told CNN. This is all this is all coming back to me now because it's all coming back to me now. Let's go back to Columbine High School. Columbine High School, the trench coat mafia. Okay. I remember that. That was a huge thing, y'all. Trench coat mafia was a huge thing. Okay. And, we talked a little bit about it. He said, y'all can't wear trench coats. If you're wearing a trench coat, keep an eye out. We had the bomb squad going to the high schools, middle schools. Anytime somebody left a suspicious backpack out there, I remember there being we were locked in and we didn't even know it sometimes. Right. And that's how it was. This premeditation, that's what it looks like to me. Absolutely. Renee says, I don't love guns, but it's our Second Amendment, which I think is important. Guns should be locked up and not be available to mentally ill folks. Renee, let me ask you a question because I think you bring up a good point, right? And I don't think anybody disagrees with you, right? I don't want to take anybody's guns away necessarily, but we do shift a lot into you shouldn't be buying guns. The mentally ill should not be buying guns. I think we can all agree with that statement, right? I don't think that that's off at all. But you tell me a person that isn't mentally ill at this point. Like, we need to expand upon that definition a little bit more because I'm telling you, it seems to me that is always the go-to. He or she was showing signs of depression, and they were dressing all black, and they were talking to their peers about wanting to shoot up the school. We have patterns of behaviors, guys, and there's something to be said about the people that have mental health illnesses and don't act upon such situations and get help, or they're able to kind of figure that out. Maybe a professional is able to say, you know what, little Johnny right there, he wrote something in his journal and he talked about shooting up the school. We need to get little Johnny into therapy ASAP. We need to document the fact that he's saying this. We need to figure this out and make sure that little Johnny or his family, if they have access to weapons, that they're locking them up and they're not giving it out for Christmas gifts like candy bars. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at too. That's as somebody that's worked in the mental health field, I'm a little sick of mental health being blamed. You know what I mean? Beetle says, thank you for the $4.99. Nobody ever considers when buying a gun what happens if mental health declines. 2 elements are combined, the gun and poor mental health. Always. Always. When has it not been about that? I'm so glad I'm processing this with you guys because, like, I'm literally thinking about how many school shootings have we not had where we talked about the component is mental health, access to guns? Let me know. Jordy T says, I wasn't mentally ill when I hit my gun years ago. I did go through a terrible depression and knew I needed to get out of my house. So I gave it to my ex for now. Not everyone does. Jordy T, in that, my friend right there, shout out to you. Because that, you're able to recognize I'm dealing and I'm struggling with this. And I need to put my guns away. But for a 14-year-old child who, like I said, can't even wipe their asses, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it that way. I don't like even my 16-year-old. Kids are gross. Okay. Teenagers are gross. We're putting this, we're putting this mental health thing on them. But as adults, we can't even check ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, what was the dad thinking? Because I'm thinking you must be mentally ill if you thought it was okay. You got all these shooting up the school plans in your house, and you think it's okay to buy your child a gun as a gift? Jane, you ain't never lie. Teenage boys are gross, period. I'm sorry. I love my children, but they're gross. And I've said it before. Love my children, but they're gross. Thank you, Kim. Isn't that always the thing? Isn't that always the thing? Thank you, Evil Queen. Even when you're 14, you're not even able to drive yet. Thank you. Rabbit. That child had been investigated by the FBI. He moved to another school district. There you go. And somehow he still had access to weapons, right? He moved to another school district. His file should have been marked when it was sent to the new school. Psych evaluation should be required. You can't, I agree. I agree with you, Renee. It can be recommended, but here's the deal, man. Then you play a very fine balance on this. Um, if he was on any kind of like mental health watch, they would have picked up on this. It would have been nice to have had the school talk to a therapist. I don't know if he was, not knowing too much about him, right? Um, hey, I'm taking my kid to therapy. He's having these like fascinations of shooting up the school, which does happen. You guys, like I said, I worked in government for 10 years, social, like this is kind of like the area, right? And these are kinds of things that you have to do in a preventative side as a prevention method, but you got to get like 5 hours ahead of the train, if that makes sense. You and the professionals that are involved, if you care about your kid and you love your kid enough, you're not going to let your kid harm other kids, period. That's it. Because it makes this right here allows what has happened now has opened up the gates for a lot of other things, just like everything else. But my question is when are we going to get some solutions? Where's the buck going to stop? Because it always goes, it's the mental health. This kid was mentally insane. This is what was going on. The kid's 14. I'm glad that the parents were arrested. You said this is far deeper than the US or gun problem. It happens in far more countries than we know and mostly not with guns. Yet the cautions is yes, I agree with you on that, Poe. Honestly, I think, like I said, like what is going on in your home is number one, right? These school administrators, these teachers, they're not there at your house. They're not there in your casa, you know? So you know what you allow and what's going on. But the dad co-signed this bullshit too, right? Like I'm glad that he's been held accountable or he's going to be held accountable. You said we had fun around my whole life. If guns, you mean guns around my shout out to you. If I touch one without parental oversight, my dad would have buried me alive. Mm. Yeah, touching it, being around it. You know what I mean? Machetes, guns. If there's violence, it's planned. I've got 10 of cameras around my house. Tinkle, thank you for the 999. Anything that's a weapon. You're right, Tinkle, whether it's a machete or a gun. It could have been a machete for all we know, guys. He could have been around. He did it with the gun, but anything, any weapon, a kitchen knife, bring it to school in your backpack. Let me know. I don't know. Let me tell you something. I hear what you're saying on this. Thank you, Tinkle Tits, for the 999. I this is the problem that I have with this. I don't think one solution is over the other. I and this is why I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you're damn if you do and damn if you don't on this. I don't necessarily put that on one person or one organization. I honestly feel like something has to happen with the way we are moving around this because like I said, as somebody that was in middle school when Columbine happened, this argument was the same argument that was going on down there. Who was it? Michael Moore did a bowling for Columbine. For the y'all, let me know if you remember Michael Moore when he came out. Oh, Michael Moore was the shit. That's when documentaries were documentaries. Michael Moore came to Colorado and he did bowling for Columbine, right? And he talked about the gun laws and he really went after the NRA, when it went after for anybody that stood and talked about the gun laws and Columbine High School and all of this was all over. And that was literally, I don't know, 20 plus years ago. And we're still having the same conversation years later, different school, different time. I just don't know if it's always about the NRA. I don't know if it's always about that, if that makes sense. I think this is deeper than what we're, trying to put a blanket on. But that's just my opinion, love. That's it. Dee Dee says, thank you for the 20, love. Says, when thoughts and prayers become the template response to these events that are unaliving our family members, that needs to be a sign that so much is broken. Talk to your kids, be in their business, get in their business, get them help. You know what I mean? Be in their business so much so that they hate you. That's the only thing I can do. I'm not my kids' friend. I love my kids, but I'm not their friends. Not in this, not around, not right now. Not right now. We're not friends. Mm-mm. Not while they're the ages of of 3 to maybe even 21. My kids are not my friends, and your kids shouldn't be your friends. You better get on that ass and get in their business. That's what you need to do. Because I'm telling you, like, it's hard. I struggle with it too. I don't know it all. And every day I'm finding something. It's a whole different generation, something different, man. I swear. I'm just like, I just wish I just wish something different sometimes. But that's parenting, I guess, That's parenting. And you know what? 10 years from now, when they have their own kids, they're probably going to say the same thing that I've said because I know my parents said it about me. You know what I mean? Thank you, Dee Dee, for the $20, love. Thank you, thank you. You thought it was an excellent. Y'all remember Michael Moore? He went to Walmart. He's a pretty grouchy man, Mr. Michael Moore. I will say that. Hold up, y'all. I got to scroll all the way down. Yes, they are your kid and you are their parent. Not until adulthood do you become friends. Bingo. Let me tell you. I mean, even if they hit 21, I'm sorry, I'm not your friend, boo. No, no, no. I'm not your friend, boo. I am your parent. That's what I feel about the situation. So I don't know. That is true, Grandma Sherry. Please say that out loud. That's the problem. We all have different beliefs, different moralities, different things that we have coming up, and yet we are fighting to stay ahead, I think, as adults, to stay ahead of the media, to stay ahead of like the different things that are being thrown to our kids. I'm gonna say this. This is the most and I'm gonna make up a word, the most confusional generation right now. They like I don't know what to say. But I'm sure that the people that were dealing with Columbine probably said the same thing about us, right? Or even about you guys, right? But let me know. So many untruths in the media regarding Columbine as well. Poor coverage cycling. Yes. And that's very true, Susie Q. And let me tell you, like, even with the coverage that I'm doing right now with the whole Venezuelan gangs, the Venezuelan gang situation. You got media telling you one thing, you got these people telling you something else, and all you can really do is look at the different sides of the media to figure out what is the truth. What is the truth? They don't. And I'm always going to be here. See beautiful shout out to beautiful Miss Well said, you don't need to be a helicopter mom, but you should be able to communicate with them and have open conversations. I feel lucky that I was a Gen X kid. Shout out to I know I have a lot of Gen Xers kids here. I'm a millennial. I love my I feel like I kind of grew in that Gen Xer because I was around a lot of older people. So I love my Gen Xers because I was around a lot of that and I can relate, but I'm a millennial as well. So I'm right in the middle of both, if that makes sense. But yes, hold up. You said, how can you raise your kids and be so disconnected? My kid turned 26 this month and still comes to me in open conversation, not as friends, but as a child to parent. Ooh. That's good, Poe. Shout out to you, Poe, because that just speaks to you're a good dad. Shout out to you, Poe. I don't know, man. Like, I'm hard, but I love my kids. And there are times where my kids will hurt my feelings or say some crazy ass shit, but I love my kids. And then I see baby bunny, and everybody spoils her, and it worries me a little bit because she's our only girl. And everybody babies her. They all love baby bunny. Okay. But it worries me a little bit because one of the things before I had baby bunny, I had my two boys, and it was like, I don't want to have any girls. I'm scared if I have girls. I am scared. And I know, but I'm scared for my boys and my girls. But the fact that she's so babied, I know that it's something that I got to figure out and make sure that there's certain areas that I lay the law in certain things. But that's just the closeness. I don't know, y'all. I think that's what it is. She is a mini me, you know? But because I know how much of a like mini me I was, and the shit that I went through as a kid, it worries me sometimes. Do they? Shout out to you, Kim. My kids can talk to me about anything. She's brutally honest to me. LOL, the door's open. That's great. That's great. You would ban them from TikTok? We are on the CEO schedule. I hope you know. That's why I'm like, I cannot get into a whole lot. But I want to continue the conversation with you guys on this. So it just, what do we make of this? I don't know, y'all. Like when I see the headlines, dad's been arrested. Here's another one. Okay. The Salacious New York Post. Here we go. Oh man. Hold up. Where'd it go? Here it is, y'all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. And shout out to everybody. I don't know who's on Twitter that's watching us. Shout out to you guys over there on the Twitter land. Thank you guys for being here. Let me check. How many do we got people on Twitter before I start my... It says we're live. 74 people on Twitter. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Dad of alleged school shooter, Colt Gray, arrested, hit with murder and manslaughter charges, officials say. Okay. So the father, and we just read this earlier, of the gunman who killed 4 people in a mass shooting at the high school in northern Georgia, has been arrested, law enforcement announced Thursday night. Okay. And they had a huge, a couple hours ago, press conference. Colin Gray, 54, was charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. We reviewed the charges earlier. The charges come after it was revealed that Colin Gray purchased the AR-15 style rifle. Not a BB gun, right? Not a BB gun, not nothing like, it's a rifle. Even a BB gun is bad, but you know. A rifle, y'all. Colt allegedly used in the massacre as a Christmas gift last December. This is what the sources told the Post. This is just sad to see, like, pictures like this. I mean, I don't know. You said my great-grandchild. No, they can talk to me. No judgment. Just talk about anything they want. Yeah. That's the best way to do it, is open the door of communication. You said my kids were 13 months apart, the same circle of friends. I knew if it was really bad, they would tell each other. That's good, Tracy. That's good. Let me see. Shout out to Mary Lee. My kids are 46, 43, and 41. Shout out to Mary Lee. Son owns Pew Pews, needed a license to buy because they were Canadian. Locked in a safe, and he's the only one who knows where the key is. Just goes to the range. Well, shout out to you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? You said you can hide an AR-15 in baggy jeans. Actually, you can fit a few in your jeans. Well, exactly, Robbins. If your frontal lobe hasn't developed, you shouldn't have an assault rifle. This kid, he is going to be what people talk about in the next couple years. That's what happened with the Columbine shooting and every other shooting that has happened. The school shooting. He's going to be the conversation. That's it. This picture right here. That's just, I don't know. These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon. Without providing additional details, Colt received a deadly present from his father just a few months after authorities visited the pair when the FBI received tips about an online school shooting threats. He had made threats before. Mm-hmm. Yes. You think his dad put a battery on his back? Well, unintentionally. I haven't heard so much. What happened to the mother? I haven't heard about the mother. Me, you, that's a great question because I keep hearing about the dad. Um, it does kind of make you wonder, though. I'll definitely look into it a little bit more. You said hopefully the parents now realize they're responsible for their weapons. Try me, bitch. Let me just say this. I wonder if this is going to lead to more ish. That's crazy. Do we know that he is? I mean, let me know. I mean, are we aware that this is the case? Do we know that he's trans? I don't know. Y'all, let me know. I did not know that was. They haven't said anything. Um, that's really sad, Tico, that's where it's going. In my opinion, I'm like, why do we have to take it there? You said, oh, the mother is a total druggy Looney Tune. She tied up the grandmother when they refused to cough up the cash and tied her up, according to the aunt. Really, Groovy Nikki? Wow. You have not seen that? So I guess it's running rampant on Twitter. Y'all show me, let me know. Don't think because he's got long hair does that mean that's what's going on. You know? Just don't just because they got long hair don't mean that that's what it is. Miss May says, I saw this inspirational pic. It's not our job to toughen our children up to face a cruel and heartless world. It's our job to raise children who make the world a little less cruel and heartless. Thank you for the the 1999. Miss Faye, thank you. I agree with you, Miss Faye. I agree with you. Um Life is already hard and difficult. Why we got to be hard and difficult, I agree with you on that. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. I think washing our country in guns was part of a bigger plan, unfortunately. Oh, Lord. But you know what, guys? It's only going to get bigger until we stop. Like, something has to give. Something has to happen every year, every decade, there's a story like this. It has not changed. Is this going to prompt changes in government, Congress? Are we going to finally meet in the middle and say, let's figure this out together? Let's figure this out together. What are we going to do? Because every year it's the same argument. Different people at the table. I'm just tired of everybody saying our thoughts and prayers ... or with the families of ... I know I cannot be the only one who's tired of it. I know I cannot be the only one. Thank you. Pika, you're right. One huge problem. Too many parents will say, nah, not my baby, when in reality their child is a terror on society. Yep. Fix it. And I think this is a good example of like parents being held responsible for the things, for buying guns. Look, I was thinking about this the other day, it worries me a little bit when I see kids driving. Okay. If your child decides to steal a car, okay, and they hurt somebody, should the parent be held liable, or like things like this? Like, I'll never forget one time when I was very young. I was a teenager working a job, okay? And right at the outside of the job there was this kid who got into a wreck. He hit like a pole or something, and really nice car. I forget what kind of car, but it's one of those cars that you would have to have a lot of money to have, like something that I would never have. Even now, I could never afford, right? It's one of those cars. Very young kid driving this car. Whatever. Wrecks it. And he's calling his dad, and his dad's standing next to him, and he's pretty upset about the wreck, right? And his dad's like, hey, don't worry about it. We gonna get another one just like it. And here I am working a little job, right? trying to pay my, whatever I have going on, trying to get some money for maybe some new kicks, some new chucks, some new Converse or whatever, something like that, right? But it was his response like, hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. We're going to get another car like this. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I said, Lord have mercy. I wish my it's like parents just kind of look away and they don't even give a shit sometimes. They don't care. Don't worry about it. We'll replace that car. Don't you worry about it. It's nothing. It's nothing, Big Muffin. It's okay. And I sat there, I was like, you're kidding, right? I mean, hell, like when I had my first car, I was so ecstatic, right? It's just crazy to me. But when your kids aren't ready to be adults, let's not push them to that. Yeah, enablers. Enablers. Absolutely. I would never live it, JB. I would never live it. I would never leave it. If a kid steals a car, the parent isn't necessarily responsible. But if a kid steals his father's firearm because it wasn't locked up securely, kills somebody, then the parent's responsible. That's a good point. Thank you, Anne. Speak to the teacher about how kids act in school, and now teachers are quitting right and left. Mary, I don't blame. It's weird because it's like, there are times where schools are doing the most, where I kind of side eye the school and I'm like, I don't know if y'all need to be doing this. You know what I mean? And then there's times where it's like they're not doing enough. Shout out. Okay. Shout out to you guys that are coming in. Welcome, welcome. You said I need someone help. I'm needing someone's help that knows about who to contact in the public education handles safety protocols and stuff because I'm wanting to write a letter trying to get my child's school to get some devices. I would probably contact the administration to get that going. I mean, that's the best way to do it. And maybe that's what it is. Some people say hey, the guns aren't the issue. The guns are the issue. I don't know, y'all. I just feel like we have been through this before so many times. Back and forth, different policies, different laws. It just I don't know, man. But the parent definitely was an issue in here. I heard about this. Did you guys see the video of the teacher laughing? She heard the news and she was laughing it up about what was going on. I guess they caught her on video. I don't know if she just had like a weird reaction to this. It was just weird. Yes, contact the school board. Start with the locals. Yes, Mo. Thank you. Thank you. Kids in the suburbs or kids in gangs killing. No difference. Guns available everywhere. The press highlights school shootings. Chicago has so many shootings every weekend. Renee B, that's true. What school shootings? Let me tell you this. It's funny you say that because I remember when the Columbine High School shooting happened. I had just moved from California. I'm originally from Cali. I'm a Cali girl, guys. And I moved. I go back and forth. When I was in Cali, there were shootings all the time there, all the time. There was a point in time where, hell, like in the area that I live, you couldn't even wear a Raiders jersey back then because if you were wearing a Raiders jersey in one territory, shit will go down. So you couldn't do that. They switch our school to school uniforms. This is stuff that I remember growing up because of shootings that were happening. It was a huge deal when it happened in Colorado, in the area that it happened because they'd never seen something like that. But in the area that I was at, it was all the time. Kids were being killed. So that's why it was a bit of a culture shock then to where we're at now. Now it's like everybody's, yeah, I get it. You said I think it was like a laughing lady because she was guarding the door at the same time, making sure it stayed closed. Yeah, I don't know if she was laughing because people were talking about it like a nervous energy, nervous laugh. That was going viral. I said, oh, someone's trying to cancel her. It's gonna be bad. Yes, they thought uniforms would make it easier to identify a shooter, I guess. I mean, what if they go to the school? That's the other thing too. What if they go to the school? Yeah, the gang colors. Oh my, y'all, I'm telling you, this was back when the Raiders were a huge thing and we had to wear school uniforms. It literally happened like that. Like one day it was like, listen, this is what's going on. And then there was a lot of rioting happening. This is just my some of my suppressed memories are coming back to me as I'm talking about this, y'all. But I do remember there was a lot of shootings, and hell, even the house that we live in, I'll never forget, man. That shit is just, there's like a huge drug area. It was just way too much going on in that area. And that was part of the reason as a kid we had to move around a lot because of, being first generation. You just don't really know what to do with these people, What do you do? You said no uniforms cuts down on bullying. If everyone is wearing the same thing, the logic behind the uniform. Yo, you wore uniforms at school and it didn't work. If a kid's gonna be an asshole, they're gonna be an asshole, right? I don't know. You still get bullied, right? Y'all are crazy in the chat. Shout out to everybody. You guys are like laughing it up on some areas. You have to, if it was gang colors, my school district, why they implement that change? Yeah. It's I don't know. I would agree with you on that. Street violence is environmental. School shootings are a new phenomenon. But Evil Queen, are they a new phenomenon? Are they a new phenomenon? Are school shootings a new phenomenon? Because I feel like we hear about it every year. I don't know if it's, I don't know if I agree with that, but I agree. This is a hard one, man. I don't feel like I spent enough time talking about school shootings in my undergraduate. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, honestly, right. Every color can be a freaking gang color. Hell, my purple, I'm pretty sure, is part of a gang color. They're happening more, right? You said Jordy T, Tennessee turned down money for mental health after the Nashville shooting. So is it guns or is it mental health? The right didn't want mental health money or red flags laws. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm at this point where I'm kind of tired of mental health being blamed. I don't know, man. And I'm not saying that we have it all figured out, because we don't. Clearly, we don't. But we need to figure something out, you guys. We need to figure something out, because today it's, this week is this school. What school is going to be next week? Whose school is it? What school are we going to be reporting on next? What's the next shooting? Y'all let me know. Who's next? Let me know. Something's going on. Something is going on. And I don't think we're going to be able to solve it here on this stream. But at the very least, I hope that I just give you guys some thoughts. And if you're watching the replay, leave me some comments on what do you guys think? What do we need to do? What needs to happen? That's Mary. That's a great question. Let me know. What do you guys think needs to happen? Because today is this school. What school is going to be next week? Let me know. Whew. It's a lot, you guys. Where does the buck stop? Thank you, beautiful messy ball. If you guys are members, please make sure you check out the Discord. You guys can get a lot of resources and stuff down there. Let me know your thoughts as we're reviewing that. So let me just say this. I want to thank everybody for at least processing this with me tonight. I know I didn't go live earlier on this. I did an interview with Serge. Shout out to Serge. Make sure you guys check it out. And we dropped another video on the whole Tren de Aragua Venezuelan gangs in Colorado, that whole thing that's going on right now. I really want to understand and continue the conversation. I hope that it's a fluid, like I just have a lot of thoughts in my mind. And I don't know about you guys, but I just like to talk about everything that I have going on in my head. I don't feel like I have the answers to this, but something does need to happen. And we need to stop making something the excuse. It was this. It was mental health. It was this. It was that they were bullied. It was this. It was this diagnosis. We need to stop. Wake up. All right. We need to figure it out. And I'm tired of hearing every politician, every leader in this country, every administrator in schools Our thoughts and prayers are with insert school name. Our thoughts and prayers are with the name of the family and the school. Our thoughts and prayers are with da 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 da. Whichever side of the coin you guys land, honestly. We need to figure this out. And we need to stop giving so much responsibility to these school administrators. Because at the end of the day, these kids are the ones that come to your home and they're sleeping and you're feeding them, and you don't want them to be a product of a lot of things. We got to figure this out. Okay? It takes a village. And if your neighbor's struggling or whatever, y'all check on people. That's what you got to do. That's what we do. You say, which shout out to Evil Queen. Evil Queen, thank you so much for the memberships, love. Thank you. Thank you. Hold up. Let me shout out some folks. Thank you guys so much for the memberships. Um, Becky made me laugh because she said La Chancla is needed at home. Kidding, not kidding. Well, damn. I had La Chancla, I had El Cinto, anything that my mama or my daddy could get a hold of, that's what I had. Now, I'm not saying that that's the solution, but we do need to figure something out about what's going on. Yes. Stop bitching and start doing something about it. Thank you. Thank you. Go to your school. Become a PTA person, whatever. I hate PTA shit. I really do. As long as I don't become a soccer mom and I have to drive a van, I'm good. I'm good. Shout out to you guys. It takes a village, but you got to know your damn village. Know your village. Who the hell's in the village? Everybody, we all got a village of something, right? Thank you. Every week, local. Please and thank you. Hell. Yes. It just keeps going and going. And like I said, I don't care whatever side y'all are in, whatever you support, do what you got to do, but just make some steps. Take some steps in this problem, right? Do your part. Okay. We talk and we complain and we, pass the buck. It's this person. It's that. They did this. No, something's got to give. Okay. Because honestly, this could happen to just about anybody. This could happen in your family. It could be one of your kids, or it could be, within your own family. You never know. You never know. All right. I will see you guys on the next one because I got to go tend to the baby bunny. I want to thank everybody again for supporting my channel. Yo, I didn't think we were going to have a lot of people here. I appreciate you guys. And yes, Tinkle, go vote, stay informed, whatever you land, do what you got to do. Okay. You guys have a great night. I'm out of here. Bye. Bye, guys.